You walk into any store or spend 5 minutes browsing TVs online, and it's kind of overwhelming, right? Specs flying at you. OLED this, QLED that, motion rates, processors, acronyms everywhere. But if you're just trying to find the best 55-inch TV in 2025, keep it simple. You want an excellent picture, reliable performance, smart features that don't lag, and solid sound without needing to buy extra speakers on day one. We dug through dozens of models, reviews, testing data, and spec sheets to give you the 5 that are actually worth it. Let's count them down. Number 5. TCL QM8 55-inch QLED TCL slid into this list at number 5, but don't let that fool you. The QM8 series punches way above its price class. We're talking mini LED backlighting, over 2,000 local dimming zones, and quantum dot color. That combo lets it get very bright while still holding on to deep, satisfying contrast. Basically, you can watch a movie in a sunlit room or a super dark basement and still get solid results. TCL's image tuning has gotten smarter too, literally. Their AIPQ engine Gen 3 uses AI to fine-tune color, depth, and motion on screen in real time. Some scenes feel so sharp, they almost look 3D. It's kind of wild. Gamers, heads up. It supports 144 Hz refresh rate with VRR over HDMI 2.1, so next-gen consoles run smooth, crisp, and without major screen tearing. Sounds not mind-blowing, but it's fine for out-of-the-box stuff. Dolby Atmos is baked in, though honestly, it needs a soundbar to really show that off. Google TV handles the smart features here, and it runs snappy enough with built-in Chromecast and fast nav through streaming apps. Plus, the remote has voice search that actually works. Small victory, but yeah, sometimes motion handling in sports or fast-moving scenes can feel just a hair behind its pricier rivals. But again, it's not trying to compete with flagship OLEDs. This thing exists to give you the wow factor at a decent level without going full luxury. And that, it nails. Number 4. LG QLED 90T 55-inch Mini LED. Okay, number 4. This one's a bit more polished. LG dropped the QLED 90T this year, and it's their top-tier 55-inch model in the QLED lineup. What makes it stand out? Picture first. The QLED 90T uses mini LED backlighting and combines quantum dot and nanocell tech, which LG's been tuning for a few years now. The result? Really crisp detail and vibrant colors, but without the crazy price jump you see with OLED. Black levels are solid, better than older LG LEDs for sure. It doesn't quite hit OLED depth, but for an LED panel, it holds up impressively well. Regular shows, movies, and especially HDR content pop with a nice balance of brightness and layering. There's depth there. It's powered by LG's new Alpha 8 AI processor, which handles upscaling, auto-calibration, and scene-by-scene adjustment. Watching anything lower than 4K still looks sharp enough that you probably won't complain. One big highlight, the motion. 120 Hz native refresh rate, plus LG's Motion Pro tech actually makes sports and action scenes smooth, without that over-processed soap opera look some TVs fall into. HDMI 2.1 support is all here, 4 of them, including gaming features like VRR, ALLM, and NVIDIA G-Sync compatibility. It locks in at 120 Hz without stutter on PS5 and Xbox Series X. WebOS is the OS here. If you've used it in the past, it feels mostly the same. Fast, responsive enough, and pretty clean. You get access to everything from Netflix to Apple Plus right out of the gate. The Magic Remote is back too, and it's still one of those love it or hate it things with the pointer cursor. Some people dig it, some don't. Design-wise, it's thin, sleek, and mounts flush on most walls. Side-angle viewing is decent too, thanks to the IPS type panel, so it doesn't wash out badly if you're on the couch corner watching at an angle. Still, If you're a hardcore cinema enthusiast chasing perfect blacks, this won't replace an OLED. But for regular users who just want a big, bright TV with clean motion and minimal fuss, it delivers. Number 3. Hisense U7N QLED 55-inch. The Hisense U7N is probably the most surprising name on this list. Hisense has come a ridiculously long way over the past 5 years, offering top-level specs at borderline mid-range prices. And the U7N is the perfect example of that. It's a full-array, local dimming QLED panel with up to 1,200 nits of peak brightness. Paired with quantum dot color, it can actually rival some of the pricier Samsung panels side by side. You get Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and HLG all supported, so whatever you're watching will be processed with the full stack of dynamic range tools. Gamers, this one's ready for you. 144 Hz refresh rate, FreeSync Premium Pro, VRR, and ALLM. And it supports Dolby Vision gaming, which not every TV bothers with, even in 2025. Hisense calls their motion handling system Smooth Motion, and for the most part, it holds its ground pretty well during intense scenes. It can stumble here and there, but nothing game-breaking. Now, this TV runs Google TV, but Hisense's implementation feels snappier than a few others I've used. Menus don't lag, apps open fast, and the UI is clean while still feeling customizable enough for different users in the same house. It's Alexa and Google Assistant ready with voice remote support, and it even throws in a basic hands-free mic option if you dare go full smart home with it. And hey, unexpected win? The built-in 2.1.2 sound system actually sounds decent. Like, not in the good for a TV sense. Legit decent. It's not going to replace a Sonos or Samsung Q Series bar, but for once you won't hate using your TV speakers. So, what's the catch? It's not quite as sharp in shadow detail as the LG or Sony models. In low-light scenes, stuff can get a little muddy if you're really staring. And the remote? Meh. Feels a little cheap, but nothing you can't replace. But pound for pound, the U7N is easily one of the best sleeper picks on this list, especially if you want high-end gaming features without moving into OLED territory. Number 2. Sony Bravia X90L 55-inch LED. Now we're getting into the seriously refined stuff. Coming in at number 2, the Sony Bravia X90L. Look, Sony has always had that reputation for picture processing, and honestly, they've earned it. The X90L isn't even Sony's top-tier OLED or mini LED offering. It's their premium full-array LED. But the picture quality you get here? Still outstanding. Let's break it down. Under the hood is the Cognitive Processor XR, and this chip is what makes the real difference. It doesn't just process contrast or brightness in isolation, it's analyzing the scene kind of like how a human brain would. Faces look more realistic. Shadows in dark scenes still show texture instead of just turning pitch black. You feel the drama, and color? Vibrant without leaning into cartoon territory. Their XR Triluminous Protec stretches the color range without going overboard. It's good enough to make nature documentaries or animated films look seriously theatrical. You've got local dimming with full-array backlight, which helps big time in contrast. Is it OLED level black? Number, but it gets close enough that most people won't care. Peak brightness isn't as high as the QM8 or the U7N, but the balance here matters more than the numbers. This TV feels really tuned, like it's been polished and refined. Okay, now the nerdy side. It brings 120 Hz native refresh rate, 2 HDMI, 2.1 ports, VRR, and ALLM. There's no major lag. Latency's about 8 milliseconds in game mode. That's fast enough for anything not played professionally. But yeah, weirdly, only 2 of the HDMI ports are 2.1. So if you've got a PS5, an Xbox, and a soundbar that uses EARC, you'll need to choose. Definitely a limitation for the hardcore. The sound is typical Sony, solid but not cinematic. It uses XR sound positioning tech, which tries to align audio with where things actually happen on screen. Dialogue stays centered. Surround effects show up where they should. That said, you'll still want a better sound solution if you're big on movie nights. It runs Google TV, not Android TV like older Sony models, and it's snappy, clean, and responsive. Pretty much every streaming app is available, no surprises there. Voice search works straight from the remote, and there's easy tie-in with Google or Alexa systems. Design-wise, it's classic Sony. Sleek matte finish, slim bezels, a sturdy stand with multiple positioning options. It just feels premium without looking flashy. Here's who this is for. People who want class-leading pictures without stepping into OLED pricing and don't mind missing the bleeding-edge gaming extras. You care more about movies, shows, textures, and real visual balance, not necessarily frame chases or peak nits. Now, number 1. Samsung S90D 55-inch. This one right here is the king of the list. If we had to pick one 55-inch TV from 2025 that hits everything from stunning visuals to cutting-edge features, it would be Samsung's S90D OLED. Let's just get this part out of the way. It's OLED. But this isn't your grandpa's OLED. Samsung's using QLED here, which layers quantum dot color filtering on top of traditional self-lit pixels. You know what that gives you? The richest blacks paired with crazy vibrant color. You're getting both deep, shadowy detail and higher peak brightness than most OLEDs ever pulled off before. So movies? Breathtaking. Sports? No blur, no ghosting. And gaming? Elite level response. It supports 144 Hz refresh rate, NVIDIA G-Sync, AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, and of course, full HDMI 2.1 ports across the board. Input lag is about 5 milliseconds in game mode, which is borderline overkill, smooth, instantly responsive, and zero screen tearing even at high frame rates. The Neural Quantum Processor 4K is the brains of the setup, and yeah, it shows. Lower res content gets auto-upscaled with texture prediction and sharpening that feels almost native. You're not just watching a stream of images, the whole thing feels alive. And sound? The Object Tracking Sound Plus system uses multiple hidden speakers to follow the action. A bird flies across the screen. You'll hear it fly across the screen. It actually adds depth without having to plug in a soundbar, although if you do, Samsung's Q Symphony lets the TV speakers and soundbar work together instead of muting the TV down. Smart features? The S90D runs Samsung's Tizen OS, and it's fast, familiar, and easy to navigate. Voice commands through Bixby or Alexa. Samsung Gaming Hub if you like cloud gaming. You can even mirror your phone or split-screen TV plus mobile controls if you're watching and browsing at the same time. More subtle win, this thing looks sleek, like Apple sleek, practically no bezels, super thin side profile. It either blends into a wall or stands out as designer furniture, depending how you mount it. What's the downside? Burn-in used to be a worry with OLEDs, but the new QLED layer and Samsung's Pixel Shift tech works overtime to avoid that. So far, there haven't been big reports of issues, and this is Samsung we're talking about. They wouldn't risk it if it wasn't battle-tested. It's not cheap, but it's not meant to be. This is the kind of TV you buy if you want your jaw dropped every time the screen lights up. So yeah, that's the lineup. We started with a budget monster in the TCL QM8, bright, gaming-ready, and surprisingly feature-rich. The LG QNED90T gave you that tight mix of vivid colors and smooth motion control, backed by a clean, smart interface. Hisense's U7N upped the value per dollar metric like crazy with top-tier gaming specs and real mid-tier performance. Sony's X90L nailed cinematic balance and image context with fine-tuned precision you just don't get on lesser LEDs. But Samsung's S90D, that thing's just showing off. It's smart enough, sharp enough, and beautiful enough to stay great for at least the next 5 years without feeling dated. It's our easy pick at number 1. They want one that's smart enough to work. Before you go, hit that subscribe button. We don't just review, we expose. From the hype to the hidden failures to the tricks brands hope you'll never question. So, hit like, tap, subscribe, and join thousands of smart shoppers who already know. Smart spending starts with asking smarter questions. So now you've got this lineup staring back at you. QLEDs, OLEDs, Mini LEDs, Google TV, Tizen, WebOS. It's a lot, right? But once you actually look at the 5 side by side, each one starts to make more sense depending on who's watching and where it'll be used. Let's help you figure out what fits you. Start with the TCL QM8. If you want something you can toss into a bright living room or a basement binge corner and still get wow-worthy visuals without the OLED price hit, this is it. It's for people who love value but still want something flashy. Are you watching YouTube and Netflix all day, jumping between sports and games? This handles it all without acting cheap. The UI is fast enough, the panel is sharp enough, and you genuinely don't feel like you're making a big image sacrifice. That's what makes it land on the list. It doesn't feel budget, it just works harder for the price. Then there's the LG QLED 90T, which is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of this group. Not trying to be the brightest or the most cinematic, but balanced all the way through, and that matters for families or multi-user homes. It won't crush OLED on blacks, and it won't hit the heights of the S90D for brilliance, but it runs just about anything smoothly. Live TV, Dolby Vision series, sports, games. You want a TV that's smart, clean, and polished without fussing around or tweaking your settings every night? This is your guy. That WebOS system is predictable in the best way. Hisense U7N surprised the most of all. This isn't just the best bang for your buck. This is, wait, how is this not twice the price? Levels of good. If I was building a gaming setup or wanted something I could proudly mount in my bedroom or game room, U7N is already on the short list. The color? Wildly good. The motion? Pretty tight for games and sports. It even pumps out better sound than you'd typically expect from any flat TV. Hisense is playing hardball with the big names this year. Sony's X90L does one thing better than anyone else on this list, and that's precision. You buy Sony for the processing. You want skin tones to look human, oceans to shimmer without blinding light bloom, and for night scenes to have mood instead of just being too dark. That's where this TV shines. It's the pick for people who appreciate restraint in their tech, those who don't want oversaturated colors screaming at them or motion smoothing ruining long takes. You care about story, about visuals that stay natural and immersive? This is Ainwals and for you. Just know it's not trying to win the numbers game, and that leaves the Samsung S90D. Let's not overcomplicate it. It's the future of TV. It absorbs everything we've seen from OLED the past few years, plugs the typical weaknesses, like brightness shortcomings or burn-in paranoia, and then takes it up a notch. The QD-OLED tech really is the difference maker. You give this screen the right source material, and it just melts your brain a little, in a good way. Combine that with the polished design, the fast Tizen software, and all the gaming shoutouts like AMD FreeSync Premium Pro and 144Hz support, and it's easily the most future-ready 55-inch on this list. Doesn't matter if you're a cinephile, a gamer, or just someone who loves eye candy, this checks all your boxes. But let's also be real, every TV here has strengths and weaknesses. If you're in a bright room all day and don't want to mess with controlling glare, TCL and Hisense actually beat OLED there. If you really want to kill input lag and rip through multiplayer games with zero delay, Hisense and LG both do the job without costing pushed premium money. Want a setup that just feels premium across the board, even before the screen comes on? You'll notice it instantly with Sony and Samsung. And don't sleep on the smarts behind these TVs either, because not all streaming software is created equal. Samsung's Tizen is locked down, clean, easy to use, but pretty rigid. Updates can feel slow, app support long-term isn't always guaranteed. Google TV on TCL, Sony, and Hisense, much more flexible. Integration with your phone, voice assistants, and cross-platform content puts it ahead in personalization. But different brands run it with different speeds. TCL's version can feel a little heavier compared to how fast Hisense or Sony makes it fly. WebOS on LG is like your favorite old hoodie, as comfy as it's always been. Familiar, maybe not flashy, but everything's right where it should be. If stability matters more than novelty, go LG. Plus, we've got to throw in the voice control angle. All 5 TVs offer some blend of remote-based voice input plus hands-free that you can choose to use or ignore. Most people won't even scratch the surface of what these voice controls can do, and honestly, that's fine. They're handy when you want to pull up YouTube or fast-forward something, but your phone or remote is always going to end up doing more work than your voice. Now let's zoom out for a second on the brand strategies here, because it can actually help when narrowing it all down. Samsung leans on innovation, always trying to be first with some tech claim. First to QD-OLED, first to gaming hub, first to push 144 Hz on TVs at scale. They want to be flashy and future-proof on paper and in a real-world feel. Sony wants to be emotional. Their product pages, their taglines, even the way their TVs display content. It's storytelling first. Sony TVs feel like they're designed by filmmakers for people who care about movies in the purest way. Gaming is there, sure, but it's cinema forward. Hisense comes charging in with shock value specs and actually delivers. What used to be a budget name now runs toe-to-toe with top-tier brands, and sometimes outruns them. They're appealing to younger, value-aware customers who don't want to feel like they're settling. LG, as usual, plays the balance card. Their focus is always on experience, ease of use, smart tech, and a little nod toward creators/hobbyists. It doesn't scream innovation, but it stays extremely usable and predictably good. TCL, in 2025, is all about giving people feature sets that sound premium, but at a price that feels aggressive. And surprisingly, it's not all just headline bait. It works, especially when it comes to brightness and upscaling. So whether you're hunting for performance, color precision, gaming edge, or long-haul reliability, you've got paths to all of them here. And let's say this, none of these picks will feel like a mistake. The tech has gotten that good at this range. In truth, you could close your eyes and pick one randomly and still end up with something better than 90% of TVs from just 3 years ago. The real move? Know yourself, know your room, know your priorities. Are you a sports-first person, a gamer, a couch potato with too many streaming subscriptions, or someone still watching live cable and DVDs? That'll make your decision easier than any spec sheet ever could. We don't just review, we expose. From the hype, to the hidden failures, to the tricks brands hope you'll never question. So hit like, tap subscribe, and join thousands of smart shoppers who already know smart spending starts with asking smarter questions.